Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. Hope you can hang with us for a little while. Today we're going to convert a 2012 EZGO golf cart to lithium batteries. I think it'll be fun. Never done it before. So I'm going to try something a little different. I got my oldest son helping me today. So should be fun getting time to hang out with him. We don't get that very often. And also, since I don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to take a little time figuring out the wiring and such. So I'll just set the camera up and let it run. I'll try voiceover for the first time. That should be fun. And we'll go from there. Hopefully we'll all learn something. So we chose to go with the battery EVO. I know nothing about them other than online research. They had a good price. Figured we'd give it a shot. Everything came in 3 boxes. 4 if you count the voltage converter we purchased from Amazon. Let's see what we can get into. So we bought this cart back in 2014, thereabouts, from a family that was moving. My dad was taking cancer treatments at the time, so it gave him a way to get around easier and come out to the shop, because we spent a bunch of time out here back then. Since then, it's stayed here a while and went to my mom's for a few years. It's kind of been back and forth as we've changed vehicles out. Couldn't believe I actually had this strap from the last time I bought these batteries 6 or 7 years ago. The weight difference is crazy. These old batteries are like 80 pounds a piece. The new ones are about 30 pounds a piece. And we spend a little time sorting through the wires. There's my look of wonder of, where does this blue wire go? And more on that later. We dug around and traced some wires, but in the end we realized these things are pretty straightforward. There's not much to them. We cut us a piece of plywood to fit down in the old battery box. Everything underneath there is plastic, so it's in pretty good shape. Figured out where we were going to mount it to. Countersunk some holes to put some self-tapping screws in to hold it in place. These new batteries just came with hardware with little angle brackets to screw it down to the board or wherever you mount it. They sent us 3 packs of this stuff, so we had tons of hardware. On the rear battery, we were a little more cramped for space with the angle of the board, so we bent those brackets and kind of custom made a bracket there. We ended up pulling those back in closer to the battery in the end. So that terminal right there I'm pointing to gets 12 volts whenever you turn your key switch on. So that's where we landed the wire to activate our 48 volt to 12 volt converter. And then we had two junction blocks in the bottom, for one for positive, one for negative, and everything just lands pretty self-explanatory. Tire converter wires into our old lighting circuit, which was on the driver's side of the cart, and then neaten everything up. So I had a fun afternoon hanging out with Hunter, working on this little project. But before we could finish the charger, it was time to get packed up for him to head back home for the week. So we sort of neatened up a little bit, cleaned up the tools, and took it for a little test spin. So I spliced that blue wire from the charger port here. That basically lets disables the golf cart from moving while you're charging. So got that spliced directly into power, so it eliminates that. So the plug can go away. Eventually I'll make a cover for that and get rid of that section, but at least this way it's not connected to anything. Now it's going to make me a shelf for my charger here, and we'll be good to go. Alright, y'all don't get too excited. It's not really a saw stop. It's a second-hand Craftsman with a saw stop guide on it. I'd love to tell y'all that I came back and broke it down and painted those boards and all that, but man, it just ain't gonna happen. But I am gonna neaten these wires up a bit. All right, I'm gonna go do a little digging to find a adapter there. Didn't realize the bolts that hold this dash on hold the whole front clip on. It's about to fall apart on me. All right, guys, I think that's about it. I'm gonna have to figure out something to seal that hole where the old gauge used to be, but I'll deal with that later. But we got it all installed here. It's pretty straightforward. Charger's on board now. Just lift the seat and plug her in. These battery packs are pretty nice. You got digital readouts on the end here. There's 2 circuit breakers on the back side. back here. It says to turn them off if it's not going to be used for more than 5 days, so that's no big deal. But it's pretty straightforward. All your positives land here, all your neutrals, I mean negatives land here. We had the chargers tied in all the time. This is our 48 to 12 volt converters to power our headlights and brake lights. And I think the only trick on this one was that one blue wire on the charger that had to have power so that it didn't think it was being charged all the time. And that was holding us up, releasing the brake, so, or firing the solenoid, however you want to say it. So I think we're good. That's a wrap. All right, I think we can return this one to the rightful owner, which is Mom. So we'll get this back over to her and move on to the next project. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Want to test her out, Mozzie? Let's go. Hang on.